Intro. Welcome to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the chaos of modern aviation. In just the last few years, we've seen legendary airlines collapse, a massive wave of new aircraft, ordered especially for the Airbus A350 and some of the most shocking aviation disasters in recent memory, including the devastating crash of Air India Flight 171 this summer. Why are so many airlines dying while others are placing record-breaking aircraft orders? Are we heading towards safer skies or more instability? Stick around as we break it all down. Chapter 1. Airlines are collapsing worldwide. We start with the wave of airline failures. Global airlines launched with a flashy social media campaign and big promises of luxury, a 380 travel for cheap prices. But within 2 years it was clear Global Airlines was all hype and no substance. Zero flights, zero real infrastructure, and millions of dollars of investor money wasted. It failed before flying a single commercial route. Then there's Alitalia, which after decades of debt, government bailouts, and constant strikes, finally collapsed in 2021. Its replacement, ITA Airways, inherited many of the same problems: unprofitable routes, high costs, and unstable management. Despite attempts to modernize, ITA continued bleeding cash, with Lufthansa circling for a potential takeover. Air Belgium also couldn't keep up. Despite a niche market flying to Africa and Asia, the airline shut down all passenger services in 2023, blaming high fuel prices and Europe's low-cost airline dominance. In addition to these, other smaller carriers like Flybe in the UK failed not once but twice, closing down again after a brief comeback. Chapter 2. Why Airbus is selling more planes than ever. While airlines collapse, Airbus is having its most successful years in history, especially with the A350. Air India placed one of the largest aircraft orders ever in 2023, including 40 A350-900 and A350-1000. After decades of being known for delays, poor service, and aging aircraft, Air India, now under the Tata Group, is trying to reinvent itself into a modern world-class airline. Turkish Airlines, already one of the fastest-growing airlines in the world, added dozens more A350s to their fleet, planning to transform Istanbul into the biggest global aviation hub. Emirates, famous for the A3, finally admitted the four-engine era is over and placed big orders for A350-900s and A350-1000s. Qantas doubled down on their Project Sunrise plans, ordering a 350-100 to fly non-stop between Sydney, London, and New York, with flight times over 19 hours. Even after tragedy struck Japan Airlines in 2024 with the A350 Haneda runway crash, the airline reaffirmed confidence in the Airbus A350 and ordered more for their long-haul fleet. It seems every major airline with ambitions to survive the next decade is betting on the A350. Chapter 3. The growing Boeing crisis. Meanwhile, Boeing faces a completely different story. The Boeing 737 MAX-10 is stuck in certification hell, facing delays of over 5 years. Multiple airlines like Ryanair and United Airlines have grown increasingly frustrated. The Boeing 777X, which was once promoted as the future of ultra-long-haul travel, remains undelivered. First promised for 2020, now pushed back to at least 2026. Add to that whistleblower accusations, major quality control issues in factories, and repeated legal battles over safety violations, Boeing's reputation continues to decline. This growing distrust is a big reason why more airlines are shifting long-haul orders to Airbus, and even regional jets to Embraer and Comac. Chapter 4. Tragedies and crashes since 2023. Aviation disasters since 2023 have deeply shaken passenger confidence. In early 2023, Yeti Airlines Flight 691 crashed in Nepal while approaching Pokhara, killing all 72 people on board. Pilot error and poor visibility were blamed, highlighting the risks of regional flying in mountainous terrain. Then came the shocking Japan Airlines A350 crash in January 2024 at Haneda Airport. During landing, the A350 collided with a Coast Guard aircraft that had entered the runway without clearance. Thanks to the A350's design, all passengers survived, but the tragic loss of crew members on the Coast Guard plane brought new questions about airport safety. Chapter 5. The Air India 171 crash. A deadly miscommunication. In June 2025, Air India Flight 171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner flying from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick, crashed just after takeoff, becoming one of India's deadliest aviation. Shortly after departure, the aircraft experienced severe control problems caused by a critical configuration error. The flaps were retracted too early, while the landing gear stayed extended, creating too much drag and not enough lift. This mismatch caused the aircraft to lose altitude rapidly. Cockpit recordings revealed a breakdown in communication between pilots, with assumptions made about the aircraft's setup. The crew had less than a minute to react, but the aircraft stalled and crashed into a residential area, killing 241 on board and over 30 people on the ground. Investigators blamed human error, poor checklist discipline, and cockpit miscommunication. The crash triggered immediate fleet checks and stricter pilot training on configuration procedures. The Air India 171 disaster became a tragic reminder of how quickly simple errors during takeoff can turn fatal, especially when communication breaks down. Chapter 6. What's going wrong? Why are airlines collapsing and crashing? So why are airlines collapsing, crashing, and yet still ordering more planes? There are three main reasons. First, the economics of aviation have changed. Fuel costs are rising. Competition is brutal, and operating a small or inefficient airline is no longer sustainable. Weaker airlines like Air Belgium or Flybe just can't compete with larger, more streamlined carriers. Second, the pandemic destroyed the balance of pilot availability, aircraft maintenance, and financial stability. Airlines are still playing catch-up, and in some cases, rushing to expand without proper systems in place, like what we saw with Air India 171. Third, large airlines are betting on a new future of travel. They see ultra-long haul, more direct flights, and fleet renewal as necessary investments, even if the market is unstable now. That's why Airbus is winning huge orders while small airlines are closing. Chapter 7. The future of aviation. Who survives? Looking forward, we are heading toward an aviation world dominated by fewer, larger, low-cost carriers. Will survive only if they master efficiency and reliability. Full-service giants like Emirates, Turkish Airlines, and Air India will grow but must address growing pains to avoid more disasters. Ultra-long-haul travel is here to stay with the A350-1000ULR, but it will be premium priced and limited to select routes. Boeing's future is uncertain. If they fix the MAX 10 and 777X, they might recover. If not, Airbus may dominate the skies for the next 2 decades. Meanwhile, safety must be at the forefront. The Air India 171 crash showed that even with modern aircraft, human error, poor maintenance, and oversight failures can lead to disaster. Conclusion. So to answer the big question, airlines are collapsing because they can't keep up with costs and competition. Crashes are happening because the industry is expanding too quickly, without enough focus on safety. But airlines are ordering new planes because survival depends on fuel efficiency, long-haul range, and modern technology. We are entering a brutal phase of aviation. Only the strongest airlines will survive. And those that do will control global skies with modern fleets, massive hubs, and long-haul dominance. Thank you for watching. If you found this deep dive interesting, give it a like and subscribe for more in-depth aviation breakdowns. What do you think about the future of flying? Will we see more luxury or more disasters? Let me know in the comments below. See you in the next video.